You might have heard of companies losing millions due to falling sales, lackluster innovation, or supply chain issues. But can you believe that Harley Davidson lost over $52.6 billion while setting new sales records and still being adored by its customers? The reason will astonish you, and it's something no other company has faced before. Let's dive into this story filled with unprecedented challenges and surprising twists. Back in 1903, William S. Harley and Arthur Davidson had a vision. They wanted to create a motorcycle that embodied the American spirit of freedom. That year, their first bike rolled out of a tiny shed, marking the start of an incredible journey. Fast forward to 1917, and Harley Davidson was already making big moves. They supplied thousands of bikes to the US Army during World War I. This wasn't just a business. It was the beginning of Harley's reputation as a sturdy, reliable machine. The unique sound of its V-twin engine became a symbol of rebellion and freedom, echoing through the streets and into the heart of American culture. Then came the post-war era, and Harley Davidson transformed into something bigger than just motorcycles. It became a cultural icon. The brand was everywhere in pop culture. Remember Elvis Presley cruising around on a Harley, or Marlon Brando's character in The Wild One. Even though he rode a Triumph, many thought it was a Harley. That's the kind of impact this brand had. And who can forget Peter Fonda's chopper in Easy Rider? These moments didn't just sell bikes. They sold an identity, a sense of belonging to a tribe that cherished freedom, open roads, and the unmistakable rumble of a Harley. Speaking of tribes, Harley Davidson's customer base is something else. This isn't just a brand, it's a community, a brotherhood. Harley riders share a bond, united by the love for their machines and the freedom of the road. The Harley Owners Group, or HOG, is a perfect example. With over 1 million members worldwide, it's more than a club, it's a global family. Owning a Harley is a statement. It's about standing out, expressing individuality. And the bike, they're like blank canvases. Owners pour their personalities into them, customizing every detail to make each Harley unique. Then there's the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. It's not just an event, it's a pilgrimage for Harley enthusiasts. Imagine hundreds of thousands of riders, all gathered in South Dakota, celebrating their love for Harleys with music, camaraderie, and the roar of engines. But let's not forget the business side. Recently, Harley Davidson has been smashing expectations. When many thought the brand was in decline, Harley proved them wrong. In 2020, amidst talks of a shrinking customer base and tough competition, Harley came roaring back. The next year, they saw a 5.3% increase in global sales. The secret was innovations like the Livewire electric motorcycle and the Pan America adventure bike. They're reaching new audiences without losing their core. And in 2022, the growth continued, with an 8.6% increase in US retail sales. The year 2023 had been a blockbuster for Harley Davidson. They're making waves with new models and international collaborations. Their tie-ups with China's QJ Motor and India's Hero Motocorp are expanding their global presence. And the financials are beating market predictions, with a higher-than-expected net profit in the first quarter. But even with all this success, Harley Davidson faces some intriguing challenges ahead. It's not just about sales or marketing, but something quite unexpected: repossession. In the first quarter of 2023, the company reported a staggering $52.6 million credit loss. This situation is unique and a bit tricky. Here's the scoop. The Wall Street Journal shed light on this problem. It's all about getting motorcycles back from owners who fall behind on payments. Because they can't reclaim these bikes, Harley's credit loss rate shot up by 46%, jumping from about 2% to 3.2%. In simple terms, credit loss means the money Harley can't collect. So what's causing this hassle? There are two main reasons. First, there's a shortage of repossession agents. This issue dates back to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many repossession companies scaled down or left the business during those tough times. And now, as the world is bouncing back, these agents are not rushing back. Some have moved on to different jobs. The second reason is pretty straightforward. Being a repossession agent is tough. It's not your typical 9-to-5 job. It often involves tense, sometimes risky encounters. It's not a job many people dream of doing. This makes it harder for Harley Davidson to find new workers willing to take on this role. Now, when repossession involves Harley Davidsons, it is filled with intense emotions, challenging logistics, and at times, real danger. It's a world that's rarely seen or understood by the outside, but it holds stories that are both gripping and poignant. Consider Mike, a seasoned repo agent with a scar above his eye, a silent witness to his harrowing experiences. Repossessing a Harley isn't like taking back a regular car, he says. He describes how for many owners, their Harley isn't just a bike, it's a part of their soul. Mike once had a burly biker chase him down the highway, wrench in hand, believing his freedom was being stolen. Then there was also that night in a dimly lit garage, where he faced an owner whose eyes blazed with a mix of grief and rage. The stakes, he notes, are always higher with Harleys. Linda, another agent in the field, has seen her fair share of heart-wrenching moments. She talks about bikes adorned with children's names, polished and talked to like cherished companions. Taking these bikes away, she explains, feels like you're tearing out a part of their heart. It's an emotional upheaval. Owners go to great lengths to hide their bikes, from booby-trapped garages to hidden keys, all to avoid the inevitable pain of loss. Repo agents often find themselves as reluctant bearers of bad news, forced to tread a fine line between legal duties and empathetic understanding. Then there's the practical side of Harley repossession. These bikes are often buried in garages, behind layers of personal belongings and memories. The repo trucks need special equipment to handle the low clearance of Harleys. Every repossession is a delicate operation, a dance of precision and care. Even the slightest error can result in damaged bikes and ensuing legal troubles. Ben, a new agent, describes it as a puzzle, where one wrong move can spell disaster. The complexity of these repossessions, however, doesn't seem to align with the compensation and recognition repo agents receive. It's treated like any other bike repossession, Mike points out with a hint of frustration, but in reality, it's much more than that. They're not just reclaiming a vehicle, they're dealing with a deeply personal and cherished item, a piece of the owner's identity. The disparity between the task's emotional and physical demands and the compensation adds another layer of challenge to the job. In this hidden world of Harley repossession, each case is more than just a financial transaction. It's a collision of lifestyles, emotions, and identities. Repo agents navigate this complex terrain, balancing the legalities of their job with the human stories behind each bike. But let's zoom out a bit. This repossession issue isn't just about Harley struggling to get its bikes back. It's a reflection of a bigger challenge in the industry. The pandemic has changed a lot of things. It's altered how businesses operate and how people choose their careers. For a giant like Harley Davidson, adapting to these changes is crucial. And the good news is the company isn't just sitting back. They're actively seeking ways to address this issue head-on. One approach suggested by David Viney, the treasurer at Harley Davidson USA, is direct outreach. The brand plans to contact non-paying customers in an attempt to resolve the situation. While the specifics of what this conversation entails remain under wraps, this strategy indicates Harley's commitment to finding a personal touch in solving financial disputes. Another potential solution lies in technology. Imagine a digital chip paired with the motorcycle's ECU. If an owner falls behind on payments, the chip could disable the bike. This might seem like a tough approach, but it offers a clear choice: pay up or relinquish the motorcycle. This idea seems particularly suitable for the 2023 CVO Road Glide and Street Glide, given their advanced electronic systems. But Harley Davidson's challenges don't end there. Recently, they had to halt production at their plant in York, Pennsylvania due to supply chain issues. It's clear the company is navigating through a storm of operational and financial hurdles. A more unconventional proposal involves leveraging Harley Davidson's dealership network for repossession tasks. Dealerships could act as a cavalry of sorts, stepping in where traditional repossession agents are scarce. This could be a clever use of existing resources. However, it's not without complications. Are dealership staff trained for such work? How would it affect their primary responsibilities of customer service and sales? This move could potentially create tension within the Harley Davidson community. At the heart of these solutions is a balancing act. Harley Davidson needs to mitigate financial losses from non-payment while maintaining the loyalty of their passionate customer base. Any measure that's perceived as too aggressive or insensitive could backfire, tarnishing the brand's reputation. The brand's challenge is to find a middle ground, a solution that effectively addresses the financial issue without compromising the customer relationships they've built over decades. If you are a Harley Davidson owner or you ride another bike, remember this: life is short. Ride more motorcycles.